Coming to you live from the JRE Tobacco Aladino Mobile Studios, it's the Cigar Pulpit.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another sermon from the Cigar Pulpit. I'm the Bishop of the Burn, Nick, and today I am going to be joined by Mike Brinker, and we get into a conversation talking about, it starts off talking about some brands, cigar brands, that maybe just kind of fly under the radar. Ones that are out there, they're doing their thing, and maybe they just don't get a lot of attention, don't get talked about an awful lot, and we just kind of highlight some of them. Now, somehow or another, we end up rabbit holing down into talking about brands that, have kind of petered out. But that's not where it started. But anyway, I will catch you guys on the other side of that. And I'm joined today by Mike Brinker. How you doing, Mike?
I am doing good, Nick. How are you doing today? I'm just trying to get my screen cleared up here a little bit.
Oh, gotcha. You got to close out those secret tabs there, huh?
Well, when it starts recording, I get all kinds of alerts. Oh, they're recording you. They're recording you.
Oh, well, that's good. So keeping that CIA malware at bay,
Right.
Yeah, no, I get it. No, I'm good. Just kind of hanging out. We got 4th of July holiday just around the corner. And so I don't know what you're smoking, but I have something that I went through the humidor and I picked out something appropriate for that. I will admit, despite all these America 250 cigars coming out, I didn't grab one of those. First of all, I don't have any of the Aladino ones because my dumbass, when I placed my last order at Two Guys, didn't think to look for them, and I hurried to place the order, and I'm like, so it's too little, too late. But what I do have is a United Cigars Robusto. It's a 5x50 Robusto with an Ecuadorian Habano wrapper, Dominican Cuban seed Habano binder, and Dominican and USA filler.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I did get the declaration from Aladino, but I smoked one last night on the Herf.
Yep.
And since you didn't have one, I just figured I'd grab something else. So I have got the Villiger limited release number 51.
Oh,
that is a Bellicoso. It is Ecuadorian Habano wrapper with a Dominican Republic binder, and the filler is Dominican Republic also.
All right.
The 52 ring gauge.
They've got the new 1888 San Andreas out. The Maduro version of the 1888 line. And I had that. I opened up that box on the show a couple of episodes back.
Yeah.
And we're timey-wimey wibbly wobbly right now because some people will know, or some this will come out on July 3rd, but we're recording in advance because reasons. And so anyway, I haven't smoked it yet, or I haven't smoked it out of the box yet. I will by the time this episode comes out.
Right.
But I have not smoked it out of the box yet. But I'm pretty sure, like 98, 99% sure, that when I was down in Miami in October of last year and I visited Renee, I'm pretty sure that's the cigar he gave me to try when we went to lunch. And if it is, it's a tasty little bastard. And it smokes for a really long time. So I'm looking forward to that. But anyway, so. Well, cool. Well, let's cut the cigars. And the official cutting is brought to you by twoguyscigars.com. That's the number 2guyscigars.com. Two Guys have been around for over 40 years, and they are the trusted name in the cigar industry. Everybody knows Two Guys, but if you don't, please give them a try. You won't be sorry. Family owned and operated, twoguyscigars.com does the very best to provide a great selection, fair prices, and excellent customer service. I would say by now, again, speaking to past Nick from the future, I would assume by now that my shipment from Two Guys has arrived with the various goodies that I ordered myself. You just placed a pretty good order with Two Guys not too long ago.
Right. That was the declaration I got a bundle of the color series from a Caliph. I got a handful of Double Crab, West Tampa.
Yeah.
A handful of the West Tampa White Lancero.
Dave sold some
And
Lanceros.
yeah, and handful of the Gorbustos.
All right. Well, see, that just goes to prove that they have that great selection.
Yep.
And their customer service, I mean, like you ordered that on a Friday afternoon,
And I got it Wednesday
and
afternoon.
there you go. So even the
Yeah.
post office was on top of it for you. So that's pretty good. Well, anyway, guys, head on over to twoguyscigars.com for your next cigar purchase. Tell them that the Cigar Pulpit sent you. And remember, that's the number 2guyscigars.com. With that, it's time to go ahead and cut the cigar. The old post office.
No, I still haven't received my show pack, which should have shipped this next day.
Oh shit.
The post office is like, well, we got one to them quick. We can make them wait on this one.
We'll sit on the second one. It's no big thing. You should just, well, I guess you ordered enough that you got
I ordered it, and I wasn't thinking about the fact that
show pack was going to be done then, like so
right.
soon. Yeah. I inevitably find something I want to order from them about 4 days after the show pack ships out.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of those like, do I order it? Do I order it and tell them wait for the show pack, knowing it's going to be a whole nother month before I see it, or do I just go ahead and suck it up? And then what ends up happening is I'm just like, well, if I find a little bit more stuff, I can get to that free shipping threshold, and it's no big thing, you know. So, Dave, always finding ways to get money out of you.
Now you know me; I usually don't get a lot of distinct taste out of the cold draw.
Oh, yes.
But on this Villiger, I am getting a little bit of hay or straw. More hay than straw. If
Would you say barnyard, but without the poop?
Maybe, but more distinct hay.
Okay.
You know,
yeah.
Because I've been around a lot of hay, you know, in Missouri there and all that. And it's like if you go into a hay barn, this is what gets in your mouth when you're breathing the air.
Okay. No, I know exactly what you're talking about. I get it off the Agua. Whenever I smoke that cigar, the cold draw on that is very like hayride, straw kind of.
But it's a light taste. You know, it's not like.
Oh, well, the Yagua's a little heavier. I must say.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very prevalent on the Yagua, but okay.
Yep, that's what I'm getting.
I could be crazy. I'm trying to think of what I've had to eat today, and this flavor note would not play in on that. But I'm getting almost like a dried fruit on the cold draw of the United. I don't know. I could be having a well, it's not toast. Toast is what? That's when if you're smelling toast, isn't that when you're having a stroke?
Toast or almonds?
Okay, yeah, I'm not having neither of those. So I figure I'm not having a stroke. So that's good. I'm always very cautious of that. Like if I'm like, oh, this has got a real toasty flavor to it. It's like, wait a second. I'm like, what is that?
I've been sitting there looking for my lighter. Because I knew I just filled it and got it ready for the show. And what did I do with it? I put it right in front of the keyboard so I would know exactly where it was without having to look down. Good job, Mike. Actually, you're lucky I'm even on here.
Okay.
I finished my lunch, and we had a storm coming in. That's why I pushed it to the time we are at, because the storm has rolled through, and now it's 100 fucking degrees with humidity.
Dude, I've got that coming this weekend, and I am not looking forward to it. But yeah.
But I'm sitting there in my room watching the Bear Jackson car auction in Columbus, Ohio, and next thing I know, my sister walks in the room. It's like 3:15. She's like, "Aren't you going to do a show today?" I'm like, oh shit! What time is it? I was out. I had a dog, laying against my legs, and
yeah,
I was nice and warm and cold at the same time, and the sound of rain and shit hitting the windows, and
that's good sleeping conditions right there. Yeah. I get that. No, I'll be honest. We're in similar boats because um, it's not that I was like forgetting. It's much as just like probably about the time that your sister was rousing you and telling you, hey, don't you have a show? I was finishing up in the shower and getting myself presentable and everything because I'm like I need to be something other than just I've been a bum today. I went and ran a few errands. It's like anybody that sees me out and about, you can tell like, oh, Nick just climbed out of bed and just threw on some clothes, and that thing. Because when I'm wearing a baseball hat, that's the key indicator right there.
Well,
Unless
I'll
unless
probably
I'm
have to
out and about, like at like an event. Like when I go to the 500, I wear a hat. But
right
like if
because it's
I'm
hot.
yeah, but if I'm running to Target and I'm wearing a hat, I didn't shower. And my hair's a mess. Anyway.
But yeah, I'm probably gonna have to lose the hat as it's so warm. It's just
You need a white hat.
I
Get the
can
black
never
hat
keep
going on.
I can never keep a white hat anywhere near clean and presentable.
Well, now that's a valid point because the two white hats that I do have, they are at the point now where it's like, ooh, I need to figure out a way to wash these, and I don't know how to do that.
I hate trying to I've tried everything. I've tried the plastic things you can put them into and then
Mhm.
put them in the washer. I've not tried hand washing and air drying. I'm sure that's probably about the only way to truly not shrink it or screw it up or
Yeah,
deform it.
I haven't even tried that either. So okay, well, yeah, I don't know what to tell you there, but yeah. So I get back to my point. I was down to the wire. I mean, because I
Yeah.
was texting you like what 8 minutes before we were supposed to start, being like, "What are you smoking?"
Yeah.
And the worst part is, you told me, and I'm like looking through my humidor, like, feel like I have that, dude. I have like limited release number 33, limited release 29, limited release 61, limited release blah blah blah, limited release 2023. I don't have that specific. The one that you told me, I'm like, oh fuck, I don't have that one.
I ain't gonna lie to you.
So
I have no idea where I got it. I don't think this was a purchase. So I don't. Would this have come through a show pack?
Pulpit Fast bag, probably.
Oh, Pulpit Fest bag.
I bet
So
that
yeah.
was it. I
So
bet it
this
was.
is quite old. This is almost a year old.
Yeah, and I don't have it. So, what are you gonna do? Anyway, speaking of Pulpit Fest, anybody interested in coming? I'm gonna go out on a limb and assume there's still some available, but there are not many tickets available. So, you should jump on that if you're interested because the event's shaping up. We have a couple of things going, and what's nice is I have a couple of different. We have some aside from the actual event. I talked about Vincent's Clubhouse and how we raise money. There for that and everything too. And there's a couple of raffles we're going to be doing. Um, Still pulling items together for the auction, but there's a couple of raffles we're going to be doing, and I'll tell you what, they're going to be good. And the nice thing about these raffles is I cap the tickets at 50 people. There's only 50 of you coming. So your odds of winning anything are much higher just due to the fact that there's not 500 people at this event. There's 50, you know? So, there's some good prizes. Some good prizes.
You weren't going to do the math there, were you?
I was not. Math is not my strong suit. But I'm just saying, there's better odds. Way better odds.
Your
Man,
dad's shaking his head right now.
probably. But, I was gonna say, what else is there? I was talking, and it's funny. Speaking of my dad, he was giving Paul a little bit of grief in the episode that he was on recently with Ken, and Paul was briefly on the Zoom herf the other night, and I think there's a little bit of grief getting. I think they're gonna lob a little bit back and forth before this is all said and done. I'm just saying, All in good fun, all in good friendly fun. You know, I mean, I take Paul's pointed criticism in a constructive way. So that's good. But anyway, but yeah, no, I think there's going to be some lobbing back and forth. So we'll see how that goes.
Oh
But
yeah.
anyway, so buddy, what do you feel like talking about today?
Let's see. What did I?
I was like,
Sorry.
you had the notes. Uh, by the way,
Basically,
as we're speaking, I have the World Cup on the TV here, and I'm loving the double screen action that Fox is doing to where you can watch both games at the same time. And what I found last night is if you get your remote and you flip, left to right, it changes the audio stream based upon which one you select. So, if let's say you're watching and you want to listen to the audio from the one, you just left to right, click back and forth. Super easy. Anyway.
what I've gathered was a couple cigar brands that I know and I've enjoyed quite a bit. They're things we don't, I've never haven't really heard much of anything discussed about these lately, between us or on the herfs or anything. And
Yeah.
they've been around a while. They're easy, people can order them from many different sites or they're brick and mortars, I'm sure. Especially our Midwestern people for some of these. Just some, breaking out a little bit.
Just some brands that maybe fell under the radar.
Right. Or,
They're not dead. They're just
right.
kind of under the radar.
And, they're selling big. It's just, we don't talk about them a lot.
Yeah.
I don't think any of these are carried by two guys.
Okay.
So I've been, mainly focusing between, two guys and whatnot. So, I've let these go. I haven't seen them anywhere around here in my place, but I may have to go looking for some of them now that I've remembered. Oh, I really liked that, or oh my God, I forgot about that.
Yeah, I'm sitting here trying to think of some brands off the top of my head. And I think before we get into this, I do want to say that like in no way, shape, or form is this us being critical of any of these brands, saying that they're
No,
not doing something. It's more just that like it's kind of the opposite. We're giving them a moment of recognition when normally we don't discuss them. But
right. And shops can't carry everything.
no. And look, and there's a variety of reasons why maybe a brand might fall under the radar. Maybe they are small enough that they don't have a dedicated sales force of reps, and maybe they only employ brokers, and maybe those brokers have them in their portfolio, but maybe they have another brand that's more prominent and larger in their portfolio. So then when they walk into the store, they're saying, hey, let's talk about, X brand instead of Y brand, that kind of
Right.
thing. And yeah, so there's a variety of reasons why, and maybe they're a company that just doesn't put out a whole lot of new releases, because that's something. It seems like the only time some brands get attention is when they're just constantly pumping new stuff out in the market. And meanwhile, there's other brands. I'll put one out there for discussion right here. Ferio Tego. Ferio Tego does not put out a whole ton of new stuff. I think, Michael Herklotz, he just recently, I think the newest thing they had at PCA that's starting to hit now are tins of like smaller, cigarillo kind of size, maybe Corona, size versions of their cigars,
Yeah.
in tins. But otherwise, when you talk to Michael and ask him like, what have you got new? He says the whole company is new. We've only been around for, however many years. It's not like we're still honing in and getting all that, the core and everything put together. Yeah, they
Right.
get the Metropolitan that's been around for a long time under Nat Sherman, and the Timeless the same. But like he's like, look, we're still working on getting all that going before we start the, something new every quarter game like some of these companies do. So I think he's one of those brands that just is real quietly just kind of chugging along on his own and not making a lot of noise, but doing well and just kind of keeping on going.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Who do
I've
you
never
got?
tried one of their cigars, I don't believe.
Well, by God, we got to make that happen.
Yeah.
I mean, well, you've had Metropolitans and Timeless,
Yeah, I've had those. Right.
but the actual Ferry Otego,
Yeah.
see, that's the thing. They don't do a lot. They have the Suma, and the Suma is really good. I actually really like the Suma.
Yeah.
Um, and then they were doing some like annual releases, like limited things. But I don't know if they're still doing that. See, that's the thing. Here I am. I'm like, I'm not entirely sure what they're doing. And but yeah. So no, there's one brand that probably could use a little bit of a attention thrown to it, just to see what's going on.
Uh, I am going to have to take a real quick break.
Okay,
Can we get back to this?
100%. I'll talk
Yeah.
amongst myself. This will be a good time to tell everybody that you can go ahead. Oh, you're doing your thing.
Yeah.
This would be a good time for me to tell everybody, to remind everybody about the Etsy store because we have the stickers. Now, for those of you who've already gotten some, I appreciate it. And we have some good designs. Like we have the Tray Mac with crows sticker. It's a fun sticker. We have the Church of the Holy Smoke with Pastor Barnaby Rothschild. There's the logo and the BF Chicken Lucha, cockfighting deal, and the Larry the Mute's auction service and the lemonade sticker, and they're fun. But also, the reason I bring this up is because I want to give a shout out to Luke, my 635 millimeter. Luke has been very helpful in making sticker design suggestions. I'll give credit where credit's due. The Tray Mac with the crows was Luke. Luke designed that sticker. And he's really good at that. And so it's one of those things that I appreciate that greatly. And the reason I bring that up, aside from, giving Luke his flowers, is I want to point out that I'm always looking for sticker design suggestions. I do very small batch runs, very, very small, 50 at most. So it's one of those things where if maybe you think that there's something on the show, from the show, about the show that would make for a funny, interesting sticker that people might want, let me know. I would appreciate the input because um, this kind of goes back to what I was talking about before with segments and various things with you guys. I don't know what hits until it already hits. Like you guys, like it's so interesting the things that you pick up on and you guys enjoy that is either said or done that I think that's just it's just a passing thing. It's just a simple thing. Um, it's a nothing. But yet you guys love it, and fixate on it, and it's one of those odd little things to me. It's like the things that you guys like are not the things that I would normally have picked up on. The things that I think when I get done recording and I think, oh man, the listeners are gonna love XYZ. XYZ is not what you guys are into. It's these other things that are said or done, and all of a sudden you guys are into that. So I guess my whole point is if there's something that you think would make for a fun sticker that you'd be interested in, let me know. Also, let me know what other kind of merch you're interested in because I have been looking at various options for, you know how it is. Everybody do you care about T-shirts and hoodies or hats or coffee mugs? I mean, this is all this shit that everybody does. And I guess my question is, do you actually care? Would you care? Or, if you don't care, then is there something you would be interested in? Um, I would like to see if I could find somebody that could do some like really cool cigar accessories because I think that would play into it nice, like a lighter. But on the flip side of that, it's got to be cost effective enough that the price that you guys pay isn't astronomical just because it has a silly logo. So, just let me know. I guess I'm just asking for feedback, some input. Also, this would be a good time since Mike is still doing what he's doing to remind you guys that I do need your calls for Ask the Pulpit. We are in the throes of summer, and I am super busy with my son as I record this. As I record this, I don't have my son. But the reason we're recording this so early in advance for this Friday that this episode drops is because, quite frankly, I have my son an awful lot, and I'm having to bank episodes and fit in recording where I can in my schedule in order to get these done. And your calls to the hotline have been absolutely invaluable with helping me out with show content, because it's been very difficult. And I also have guests that fall out and, don't work out. Like, I had one that was supposed to happen on the day that I'm recording this now. I had one that was supposed to be this morning. He had an emergency. He had to cancel and reschedule. It's not a big deal. It's not anything. I'm not critical in any way, shape, or form. Shit happens and we roll with it. But with that being said, I have to rearrange the calendar, figure out what's going to go where, and everything is kind of shifted around. And so when you guys call the hotline with anything, I mean, I like it when you call with specific questions. I like it when you call with comments and criticism, whatever. I don't care. Just call and interact. That's all. Just give me something that I can talk to you about. That's all. And then from there we can go from there. But anyway, call the hotline, area code 863-874-0000. Make me your side piece. Put me in your phone. You can even put me in your phone as, side piece. You can call me, whatever. That might get you in trouble if your wife or girlfriend looks in your phone. But just call it, Cigar Pulpit. Put the hotline in, area code 863-874-0000.
How about that riveting television?
Mike is back.
Nothing like watching a guy in a walker try to hurry to the bathroom because his lunch didn't agree with him.
Shit happens.
Luckily, it didn't happen. Yeah.
Anyway.
So what did you cover there for a minute?
I talked about the Etsy store and the need for calls to the hotline. So
okay, awesome.
I got some of that. Got some of the housekeeping business taken care of. So now we can get back to the topic at hand of cigar brands that just kind of fall under the radar. So I talked a little bit about Ferio. What do you got?
I've got a couple here. And now these around our area, the St. Louis area, you could find really pretty easily.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have to order them. But you may, that might be something if you're going to try out, you'd probably have to order from certain parts of the area. The first one is Esteban Carrera.
Yep. No, they're around. There's a few shops around here that I know I can go and get those.
Yeah.
Now, are they broker or rep based?
They in St. Louis they were rep based.
Okay,
I think that's why St. Louis had such a good, because he was out of around Carbondale.
Okay.
And he covered, St. Louis, Chicago, all that stuff.
That
Nashville.
makes a lot of sense then. I was going to say, because he's either got a really kick-ass broker in this area or they're rep-based. And
he was a really good rep.
Well, he must be, because Esteban Carrera is in a lot of different shops here. I can think of at least 4 off the top of my head right now.
And, we carried him.
Oh, and, 5. Okay, well, there's 5 then.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And we carried their whole line at the time. And he was very knowledgeable, not pushy. So I gave him a shot, and it's like, everyone's like, what's their newest release? What's their new, so I just had to keep bringing in stuff.
Yeah.
But the 2 that I really wanted to highlight was the first one was the Cashmere, which is their Connecticut blend.
Yeah. I remember that one. I've had that. Yeah.
It was a really, and I forgot about when we were talking about intro cigars. This is a great intro cigar. It's a tasteful, a tasty Connecticut. Yeah. But unlike the Perdomo Champagne, this isn't going to hit you too much heavy with the nicotine. It's got a bit of it's not like an AJ Connecticut or something like that. This has got some nicotine in it. It's a Ecuadorian Connecticut, wrapper with Nicaraguan binder and filler. And they got a
Okay.
bunch of different vitolas in it.
Uh,
But if you
okay.
could find one and you like a good Connecticut, or, that's definitely. And what I like is they've got them in, I forget what the name of it was, but the real shorty, like a export from Villiger
Oh, they
size.
got them in the little size.
Yeah,
Okay.
they've got a little size all the way up to Churchill's, you
Okay.
know.
Okay.
But that's really a good one. And also the Chupacabra, which there's a
I was
couple of
just
very.
about to ask, didn't they have one called the Chupacabra?
Yeah, and they've got a couple of wrapper differences, I think, in that one. But the one I really liked was the uh wow, I cannot read my Nicaragua. This one, the one I liked had the Nicaraguan Habano wrapper
Okay.
and then Nicaraguan binder and filler. I think they're heavy in Nicaragua.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
but those two, and there's when I was looking up some of them this morning doing my show prep, they've got a lot that I had never heard of that have been released. So there is a bunch of newer stuff.
Yeah, and see, and I had the shops that carry them that I can think of off the top of my head. I have not been to those shops in quite a while, to where I'm not really familiar with any of the new Esteban Carrera stuff. Now, I will
Right.
say they do have a line of flavored and infused cigars that Rivermen carried instead of acid, and
Yes.
those seem to do pretty well.
Yeah, they did really well. I never carried those because I had all the acid line and everything. I didn't want to just
Yeah,
cut my own throat.
yeah.
But what I did like, they do packs of 4,
Hmm.
and all you can tell them is I want a packs of 4 in Toro or Gordo, right?
Okay.
You don't know what's coming in them.
Oh, so like
It's just
mystery samplers.
right. You gotta, and here's something else about it, which going back to track and tracing,
Yeah,
they don't come with any identificational barcodes or nothing. You have to put your own barcodes on them to differentiate between a Gordo and
yeah,
and you can set your own price. They came cheap. We were able to sell them at a good price,
yeah,
and everyone's like, "Oh, I want that one with this, and this in it," and it's like, I don't know what I'm getting in them,
yeah.
and
Okay, yeah,
sometimes it'd have a cashmere in them. Sometimes it would have, because they had enough lines that they could really just every pack or every order of
yeah.
packs would have the same 4 in it. But the next time you order those, you didn't know which 4 were coming in them. Is
Interesting.
the best way to put that. I'm sorry.
So it may have been a situation where, depending upon what they were sitting on excess of, that's what they made the packs out of.
Right. But I sold out of them all the time. I mean, I'd order 20 packs in
Yeah,
Gordo and 20 packs in Toro,
yeah.
like every 60 days. I mean, that's
Okay.
a quick turnaround
That
for,
is a quick turnaround for that many packs.
and like I said, we charged Keystone markup on the packs, and it was still a good deal. I mean,
Interesting.
yeah.
That's
Let's
kind of cool though that like the packs are different because like it kind of is one of those things where it's like, okay, yeah, if you're going in and you want that specific pack, kind of sucks that maybe you don't get that specific pack that you want. But on the flip side, it does kind of force you to like smoke around the line a little bit, try some different stuff. And what it really does is it makes the pack the introduction to the
the line.
cigar, the line. And it's like, okay, out of this pack, I really liked this specific cigar. Well, go and buy that specific cigar if that's the one that you like. You don't have to buy packs now. You can go and buy that specific cigar.
And
So,
from their end, it's easier and streamlines the process. What are we going to put in packs this month? Here's 50 boxes of this.
yeah,
Take it out of inventory, show it as pack.
yeah.
It's not like, well, we can't sell any more packs because we're out of this cigar, or
Mhm. Exactly. Interesting. Well, and also it kind of it puts a little bit more work on the consumer, I think. But I don't necessarily think it's bad
right.
because there's some brands where like, oh, I just know that pack. and they just know that it is what it is. It's always the same. Whereas this, like I said, it forces the consumer to pay attention to what they're actually smoking. I mean, I remember from my days, working room, and the guys that come in and they're like, I don't know what I smoke. Sydney knows what I smoke.
Right.
Whatever. It's like, you smoke it. How do you not know what you smoke? And so I like the idea of putting a little bit more
Right.
emphasis of work on the consumer in that regard. Like,
And I heard many times, I never gave this one a chance. I knew you had it, but I smoked it from the pack, and now I want 10 of them, and it's like,
there you go.
yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, Esteban Carrera. There you go.
Another one is Diesel Cigars.
Okay.
They have a good lineup. They're through STG under Forged.
Mm-hmm.
So those should be a little more readily available.
I would think so.
A lot of shops, carry those types of brands. My favorite personally is the Whiskey Row Sherry Cask.
Okay. Okay. I've had that before. I will freely admit it has been a long while since I've had a diesel. God, I'm trying to think. Like, truthfully, and I don't mean this in any sort of weird way. I only really ever encountered diesel in like a My Monthly Cigars, like kind of a sampler kind of situation. It seemed like they were real popular in those kind of cigar
Right.
pack kind of thing, monthly cigar box kind of deals.
Right.
And I don't know if that's just due to price point or what, but
They weren't too pricey. Same with
that's my point. They
yeah.
were good, they were always good cigars. I never had one that I was like, whatever. But
What really
price
hurt
point,
them,
yeah.
they came out under General.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden they did that whole Forged in General, and they moved them to Forged, different reps, different, and I know I almost lost them in the shuffle,
Okay.
and it's like, because I had a different rep coming down out of Milwaukee at that time for Forged.
Yeah.
Now, granted, he was a good rep, and, I brought it back and we really started moving them good again. Had an event and whatnot, but yeah, I'm not going to say it's not a budget friendly cigar, but it's just above there.
No, but it's
It's
a decently
affordable.
priced cigar. Exactly.
It's affordable. It's affordable for guys who smoke daily, to try throw one of them in there. And like I said, there's a bunch of different diesels.
And for the guys that like the big ring gauges, they have plenty of those, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Truthfully, and this is just me, and this is at the time. I wouldn't say this is relevant anymore after they've done their revamp on their bands and everything like that. I used to always get them and Christoph kind of mixed up.
Really? Yeah.
It was just
They've
one
got
of those.
the same kind of writing and everything. Now, they didn't have the tobacco in the box like Christoph did.
Yeah. Well, but see, I never really encountered any of them in the box, and that kind
Right.
of thing. But like, it was always one of those things. I was like, this is like it was just one of those deals. But then now that Christoph has revamped their bands and their marketing and everything, I mean, they're not similar at all now. But
Right.
yeah, that was one thing for a while. I always just kind of was like, I just a silly thing, but I it happened. So
Placement in a humidor is very important for some of these brands.
100%.
Some of them have really eye-catching boxes, and it helps to make sure the customers can see these if they're newer. A lot of the diesel boxes are similar to like an Oliva box. They don't jump out. Now, some of their limited stuff is high looking, good looking boxes and stuff that will pull the eye.
Mm-hmm.
So I would put them on the higher, shelves to where they'll catch it and go down and see the other stuff too.
Yeah.
But
well, and they had a lot of dark brown bands and things like that going on too. So again, it plays into that sea of brown kind of situation. So
right.
Yeah, which is something that going back and talking about Christoph for a moment, with them revamping their bands and everything and their marketing, you don't lose them nearly like that now.
Right.
With the red and the blue and and everything, it stands out much more. So yeah, okay, all right. So Diesel, like I
And my
said,
last,
it's not a
go
brand
ahead.
that I'm as familiar with, but the ones that I have had, they're not bad.
Yeah. Illusion.
Okay,
Uh, I've
I,
always been a big Illusion fan because the shops around me that I went to starting off had them. They had a
yeah,
variety. Um, the Epernay is probably my favorite.
okay.
I
I'm
don't,
not super familiar with this brand. I do know that Dan had them to some degree, and I know
yeah.
he gave something to me that was from them, and it was good.
And
But
they've even got a
I'll be
budget
honest.
friendly stick, even though
Okay. Oop,
most of their line is, a good premium price.
yeah.
They do it's the Fume Day something, which is like their
Okay.
budget stick, and it's like a Gordo or Toro maybe, but I think it's a Gordo,
Okay.
but it's a heavy hitter too for a good price,
Okay.
and they're
Well,
they're nationwide. You always see them in the magazines and stuff like
yeah.
that, but yeah, just
Okay.
a few brands that we don't talk about or anything, because like you said, if they don't have a rep or something really around you, a lot of the stores don't pick them up. You
Yeah.
mainly have to get them online somewhere.
Yeah. No, then well, there's some brands that you gravitate towards. And part of it does come into play, like, we're talking about this. Shop placement and in terms of rep availability and all that. I mean, it's a whole chain. I mean, if the company doesn't have a rep in the area, then the shop doesn't really have a high presence of that cigar, and so you as a consumer, don't really think about it that much. And
Right.
yeah, so no, it all comes down to
Well, I
that.
mean, look at Trey Mac. He's out there 300 something days a year
Yeah,
traveling, trying to make sure people are seeing Aladino that have
exactly.
never heard from him. Even though they've smoked Aladino or JRE Tobacco
Yeah,
for
they may
years on
not.
different brands, but they don't know what this is.
Well,
Now, I was
exactly.
lucky to have, meet you, and,
Yeah,
Dan was big in Aladino.
yeah,
So otherwise, I'd have never heard of it.
yeah. Yeah. And that's exactly it. Somewhere along the way you meet somebody that's big into one of these brands, and it's just the brand has to have enough penetration in the market for them to have those kind of ambassadors out there promoting them to get going with it.
And the
You know?
cigar has to deliver consistently.
That is that well, that's the most important thing. I mean,
You
let's
know,
be real. You could smoke something one time and if it's great, then the next time you smoke it, it's not. And then the next time you smoke it, it's not. Then at that point you're not going to try it again, you know? Um that's assuming you even give it that third try.
right.
But yeah, no, you're right. The cigar has to actually perform. And I do think that kind of gets weeded out pretty quickly, If a cigar is not great, I feel like the market it I don't know. I feel like the market tends to address that within about a year.
Right.
If a cigar comes out, there might be a little bit of talk, a little bit of buzz right off the beginning. But then if the cigar doesn't hold up, if it's just not that great, I feel like give it a year and it's gone. You know?
That's like, I'm not going to name the brand, even though he's no longer with that brand. We had a rep that was great
Yeah.
out of Kansas, and he came in repping this brand. We had a big event, did it for a couple years in a row. The
All
the
right.
event we'd sell for us what was a ton of boxes, like 40, 50 boxes at this event.
Dude, that's a ton of boxes. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you wouldn't have to reorder again after that for a year till you're getting ready for the next. It's like
Yeah.
great rep, great salesman. The cigar didn't hold up for repeat buyers until the next event, you know.
Which is
And then
unfortunate, you
right.
know? Yeah. Yeah. That is unfortunate. And I know at least there's another brand that, to be honest, I'm not entirely even sure if they're even still around. But I know for a fact that the only time it really sold was when the primary would come around and have an event around it.
Yeah.
And then otherwise it would sit on the shelf and just
Well,
collect dust um, until the next time the primary was rolling through town, you
I'm
know?
actually going to name the name of this company because they're damn near out of business.
Okay.
Alec Bradley, our Alec
Okay.
Bradley replica.
Okay.
I mean, they got bought by STG,
Yeah.
and every time you look at Half Wheel, about every 3 months, they're eliminating half their Alec Bradley portfolio.
Skews. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I think they're on their way out. I think General just bought them because, well, let's just get them out of the way.
Well, let's be real. They were selling a lot of their product on the websites that they owned. And so it's kind of
Mm-hmm.
one of those like, instead of us getting a portion of the sale, let's just go ahead and buy the company and call it a day. Although, my God, think about the amount of money they paid for Alec Bradley and what they've actually done with the company since they did it. You
Nothing.
know, isn't that, I just find that so bizarre to go and to purchase a company. I don't even remember how much they paid for that. Let me, to the Googles.
That's like when Nat Sherman got bought and they just eliminated it. They didn't want any of the cigar, even though it was profitable business.
Yeah, they just wanted the cigarettes.
Yeah, they just wanted the cigarettes.
Um, which is so crazy. Um, 72.5 million dollars
Yeah,
for
that
Alec Bradley. $72.5 million.
that seems like an awful lot for
And
that company.
that's what I'm saying. Like, when you stop and think about that,
Because they didn't have farms or anything, I don't believe, did they?
I couldn't tell you. Um, but but yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous. And then when you think about that brand, and man, now it's us just piling on Alec Bradley, but it is what it is. When you stop and think about that, what that brand has become under General,
Mm-hmm.
it's become an annual holiday release. One time a year, you hear about Alec Bradley, and that
With
would
the
be
hooligan.
with the hooligan at St. Patrick's.
Yep.
And the sad part is, there are other companies that have come along with Candelas that you know, I think are better, that should rival and overtake the hooligan. But for some reason, the hooligan just kind of hangs on as like the St. Patrick's Day cigar. Like Aladino's Candela, they've done that a couple years in a row now at that time of year. Way better than the
Yeah.
hooligan. But yet for whatever reason, the hooligan just hangs on as like the St. Patrick's cigar.
Now, my
Um,
whole conspiracy theory of this whole situation, I'll just
yeah,
go ahead and share it.
why not?
You know, from what I understand, and I could be dead wrong, General doesn't have all the tobacco that they need all the time.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm sure they have contracts with farms, but I don't think, do they actually own farms?
couldn't tell you that
STD?
either.
I don't know
I don't
because
know.
remember when McAuliffe used, all the lines that they got rid of before they started the color series. That was because General stopped rolling cigars for him.
Ah, okay.
And that's about the same time they bought Alec Bradley, which makes me think maybe Alec Bradley had a bunch of contracted tobacco from different farms and whatnot, to where General needed their surplus and amount of tobacco that they've already bought and paid for.
Well, who was it that made Table 36? Was that Alec
That was Alec
Bradley?
Bradley. Yeah,
That's
that
what
was
I
Alec.
thought. Okay, so
Yeah,
I mean, and man, for those non-St. Louis cigar people, you have
right.
absolutely no idea what Table 36 is. But super small local like brand in this area.
Right.
But anyway, but yeah, they were made by Alec Bradley.
Yeah.
Who are they made by now? Do you know?
I have no idea. Well, technically, I guess if anyone's still selling them, I guess it's Alec Bradley, but I'm not 100% sure. Because a shop owner in Alton, Illinois,
Yeah, he got it.
he bought
He
all
bought
of
the
it from
brand.
Table 36. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's right. Shit, I don't even know. Now that we're questioning this, I'm trying to think if anybody carries Table 36 anymore.
I think
Um,
he'd be the only one because every once in a while I see producer Tom smoking one.
yeah, yeah.
But I think he
And
only
he
went
pops
after
up
the
to that
piece.
shop.
Yeah, and I think they only bought the Peacemaker, which was the Shaggy Foot.
Okay, okay.
I think
Um,
there was some
you,
shady shit went down with that.
yeah,
I don't know
that
if you remember.
shop. No, I wasn't involved in all that or around for
Alec
all that.
Bradley was selling all the leftover stock that Table 36 didn't want
Yeah.
to anybody who would buy it. And then they
Uh,
sold Table 36, sold their naming rights to that guy. And it was like, well, where'd you get those cigars? And it's like, from Alec Bradley. Well, I own that. And it's like, no,
yeah.
it was a whole deal.
Oh my.
And that's when that was shortly before they sold. It's like they were just throwing anything off a cliff to raise some capital, I
Raise
think.
some capital and get the books looking good. Yeah.
Yep.
Interesting. Well, in order to get a $72.5 million valuation,
Right. They did something right.
you gotta make
Jesus.
something. You gotta make some sales. So yeah, it's like, yeah, we
If
got these
Alec
guys.
Bradley's worth 72.5 million, what is like Rocky or Perdomo worth?
Well, and that was, I remember those were the questions that were going around at that time. And I'm looking at the article that I brought up on that. That was February of 2023. Can you believe
Yeah.
that? It's already been
Yeah.
3 years. But stop and think now for just a moment. Look at Alec Bradley as a company now versus 3 years ago. And that is what you can see what happens when a brand gets absorbed by a bigger brand and it doesn't have somebody like steering the ship. Because you can compare it perhaps, let's say, to like Room
101.
101, Matt Booth,
Macho bought them, right?
No, I thought General bought them as well, didn't they?
Oh, that's right. That's right. That's right.
Yeah, yeah. But my point is like Matt Booth stayed involved. You still
Mm-hmm.
have Johnny Tobacco, showing up and doing things. And, they're still doing stuff with that brand. Alec Bradley, it's like, it's gone. It's just out the window.
And I don't think the two sons really wanted the business.
Well, I think that's what resulted in the sale. I don't know, but yeah, this is all speculation now. But
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, exactly. So yeah, I don't know. It's interesting what happens when that goes down. Um, Boy, this took a turn. I didn't really intend to be like talking about like companies that were like whatever. I mean,
Well,
and there's so many of them that we could you could dive into that you just don't know the inner workings of. Like I like the guy. I think Mickey Peg's a nice dude, but what the hell happened to All Saints cigars? You
right.
know, um, the cat from Southern Draw, he and his wife, great people. Well, I don't, I know he was trying to raise capital and, and then eventually sell the company he was trying to sell. But I don't know what happened to Southern Draw. And it's like, some of these companies, they kind
They
of,
had a good cult following.
they did. And I feel like COVID really took their legs out from underneath them. I
Mm-hmm.
think that had COVID not taken place, I think Southern Draw would have gotten a little bit more juice and momentum underneath them to keep going. Although the fact that it was Robert and Sharon
Yeah.
Holt, right? Robert Holt, wasn't that the guy?
I know the Sharon was his wife.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because that was the Rose of Sharon. I thought it was Robert, but anyway, um, part of the thing there is sometimes you can look at a brand and you can be like, that's gonna burn out at some point because he was the one on the fucking road all the time.
All
And
right.
dude, like, you got to have a team of some sort, even a small team. You got to have a team of some sort because one person cannot, cover the country, which kind of leads back to, I know I've talked about it. I think I talked about it when I had the guy from Black Stogies on, um, talking about the idea of like locking in a region, really focus on a region. And then after you've like permeated that region and you're big in that region, move to the next region. And then you're maintaining in the old region, you're building up the next region, and then you just kind of march across the country slowly by slowly, doing
Well,
that.
You know when they started kind of falling off, in my opinion? Your buddy, I can never think of his name, the guy with the hat from
Corey.
Corey. Corey was repping them and
Yeah.
distributing for them.
Yep.
And he pushed it big in the, Missouri, Kansas,
Yep.
Oklahoma,
Yeah.
whatnot area. And then when he went away, they did too in that area.
Well, and now that we're talking about this, there's a bigger brand that I can make the same argument for, and that was Oscar. I like Oscar.
Yeah, I mean, same thing. I think
Oscar's
Oscar was making their stuff, wasn't he?
Not Southern Draw. I think AJ was making Southern Draw.
Okay.
But
I know they shared a booth.
Well,
in 2018 at the PCA, they're all in the same booth.
Well, maybe I don't know. It would explain why maybe Corey was working with both, but Corey was like, he was an Oscar guy, like he was a broker, but like Oscar was his big brand, and like he was always pushing Oscar. And it seemed like once Corey left there and like kind of left the game in that regard, it seemed like locally anyway. I don't want to say, Oscar kind of fell off in this area. And I think, and that's not to say that Oscar has fallen off completely. I mean, he had some new stuff at PCA this year. He still had a very large, very nice booth, so he must be doing all right. Let's be real. The Leaf by Oscar, I'm sure, is just like a money machine for the guy.
Right.
Talk about a thing, one piece of marketing and packaging that has just made a brand. Putting that cigar in a tobacco leaf instead of cellophane. Holy shit, man. Just blew it up. But, it's one of those things where then when you look at the rest of his line, it's like, what else is happening? Like, I like his cigar. The Oscar Habano is an amazing cigar. And I haven't had it in a very long time because I don't really know anybody around here that has it at this point.
Right.
I mean, I used to really like the Superfly. That was a good one.
I never tried the Superfly.
That was a good one. There was the follow-up. They had a Connecticut version. That one wasn't as good in my opinion, but yeah, I mean, Oscar's got some really good stuff, but it's one of those brands that just like, for whatever reason, everybody focuses on the leaf and they kind of like ignore the rest of the stuff. And it's like, dude, like, find a way to push everything. And I don't know, but I don't know. I don't want to pick on anybody. and I'm not, again, we're not, well, maybe Alec Bradley, we're picking on him a little bit, but
Well, you can't blow sunshine up everyone's ass all the time. Some of these people make mistakes.
And look, it's not like we're talking about, the original Alec Bradley owners.
Right.
At this point, it's general. And if we can't pick on a publicly traded company, what the hell? I mean, come on. So anyway.
If they can't dump the cigars quick enough off their portfolio, then why should we be praising them?
Mm-hmm. That's valid, and it's not like they're the only ones. I know Drew Estate does a number of, they've had a number of SKU drop-offs over the last couple of years as well. And that's just normal business. At some point, you're going to put out a Vitola or maybe like a 5-pack or something that just doesn't move. Cut it. Just cut it, Well, it's not the end of the world, but,
in my opinion,
when you're cutting a third of the portfolio for that cigar, that's significant.
When they came out with the Deadwood, they destroyed the acid market.
Mm-hmm.
At my shop. I mean, it went from...
It's not just your shop.
Booming to like... Mwah, mwah.
Yeah.
And the rep would be like, why aren't you selling more acids than the... Because you made a better... you guys made a better cigar for most people.
Yeah. And one that, at least at the time, was more difficult to get in than the acid. Now I don't know if they've picked up the game on that to where maybe it's a little bit more easily accessible. But yeah. Have you had their the newest one from them? I don't have them sitting around here. That is it the oh crap. Now I'm gonna have to figure this out. It's like Dominicana or something like that.
No.
Drew Estate, Deadwood Dominicana.
No.
Um,
I have not seen a Deadwood down here at all.
Connecticut Shade Leaf. It's sweet tipped. I know that. I don't know if it's actually infused though. Connecticut Shade Leaf, Mexican San Andreas binder, sweet twist comes packed with long fillers from Dominican Republic. Um, yeah, it's a fairly mellow cigar, but it's got a sweet tip to it. I don't think it's infused. I could be wrong.
Okay.
I've only smoked one of them,
Yeah.
but I feel like it's kind of the transition point. That it's like you have like the fat bottom Bettys and the crazy Alice's and those ones. Then I feel like you can transition from that to the Dominicana, which gives you the sweet tip, but maybe a little bit more tobacco flavor, and then that way it kind of could transition you to just straight tobacco cigars if you wanted to do that. But I don't know how much that actually is working for them or not. But they're pushing it
Right.
hard. I know that Drew Estate actually sent me a 5-pack of those as like a little sampler recently. So, you know, for what it's worth, they're pushing it. So anyway. Well, there we go. Well, you have any other
Yeah.
brands or anything else there?
That was the only ones I really had, focused on.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's one of those things where if look, it's my show, so if I like it, I talk about it. But like,
Right.
so I guess if I don't talk about it, it's not so much that, and I don't want to say it, it's not that I don't like it. It's just that maybe it's for whatever reason it doesn't cross. Like, not to pick on them, but Arturo Fuente. I don't really smoke a lot of Fuente, and I've talked about why. It's because the marketing is so similar on every one of their freaking cigars. I can't tell you which Fuentes I like and which ones I don't. So it's one of those things that, like, because I can't figure it out, I just don't do it, you know?
Yeah.
And there's so many, and to say like, oh, I really like the Opus X. Well, which Opus are you talking about? It's
Mhm.
like there's so many different Opuses. Like I don't know which one is which there either, So that's one that I don't talk about. It's a big brand. Everybody knows it. It gets attention. I don't really talk about it mostly because I I don't get it, Not to boy, I'm going down a rabbit hole here. Not to shit on him, but Rocky. Rocky's another brand. Rocky, he, big brand. Lots of people know him. There's some cigars that Rocky puts out that I actually really like. The 60. I really like the 60.
Yeah.
I think that's a really good cigar. I don't really care for the price point on it, and that's why I don't smoke it too frequently. But it's one of those things. So
I got
I
a
don't
few of
know.
the Emerald. I like the Emerald.
The Emerald is good. I'll give you the Emerald.
The Dark Star was decent.
Yeah.
If it was handed to me, I would definitely smoke it. But at the price point again, I don't know if I'd buy it.
Yeah.
Unless it was like heavily discounted.
I haven't had the Sapphire, the newest
Me
one
neither.
that they came out with. I've heard mixed reviews. Some people have said it's really good, but I did hear from somebody else that it's like, oh, if you like the Emerald, you'll like this because it's the Emerald with a blue thing instead of a green thing. I don't think that's necessarily accurate, but I'm just playing fair and relaying both sides of the story that
the ALR, aged, limited, and rare.
that one was good. Yeah.
I've got a handful of those because one of the tobacco shops down here had them heavily discounted. I'm like, well, I can't walk past that cigar at that price. And then I looked at it and it's like, this isn't even this year's. This was last year's ALRs.
Wait,
So
going back to Alec Bradley for a minute, they used to do that.
fine and rare.
That's it, the fine and rare, and those were good.
Yeah.
Did they even still do those?
I do not
I have no
know.
idea. You
That's just
know?
it. They used to promote it. Hey, this year's, Fine and Rares will be
Yeah.
released on X date, Uh, but
Man, I
yeah.
remember they used to have those really elaborate humidors
Oh,
and
yeah.
everything that would come with those, and they were nice, but
You
yeah,
could
I
see
don't.
who rolled it and everything, the date.
Yeah, well, and they did that one for the anniversary where it had some from every year that they had
We
done
had
with it.
that. We had that, and we had an event. And how we did it was we made packs out of what was in that humidor from all the dates
Okay,
and sold or gave away those if you bought a box or two or something.
okay,
You got those and entered for the humidor in a
okay. So
raffle.
yeah, 'cause you gave because that was a really cool humidor. It had the drawers and everything
Yeah.
to it. I mean, it
Every
was a
drawer was a different year.
yeah, that was a really neat piece. Yeah, no, it's just one of those things. Looking back at some brands that don't get attention and some brands that just kind of have fallen away. But
Hmm.
I don't
And who
know.
knows with Alec Bradley, those may be new lines coming out under General under different banding
Oh,
since they bought
100%.
it all. I mean, they're not
100%.
just going to get rid of SKUs. They're going to be like, hey, this is going to be our new cigar for
Well,
this brand or that
and
brand.
we briefly touched on that the other night on the Herf. Somebody was asking about a cigar and saying like, so what cigar did they slap a band on to make this cigar?
Right.
And I won't say who it was and what cigar we were talking about. But my point though is that happens way
Yeah, it
more
has.
often than brands want to say.
Why else
They
buy the SKU if it's not doing good for their company, but it's a quality stick?
exactly,
You
you
know.
know, or it's one of those things where it's like, oh, we came out with this limited release 3 years ago. We still have some, so let's throw a different limited release label on these cigars and put it out as a different thing. And now we've got this, and we can
You can
sell
say it's
this
aged longer and
whatever. Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. You're just sitting on it. It's like, let's put it out under maybe a different name or something like that and see if we can
Yeah.
move it. And yeah, so I don't know. Well, interesting. Okay. Well, you have anything else, or are we getting into the Villiger report?
I say let's just go into the Villiger report.
Okie dokie.
It's time for the Villiger Cigars Entertainment Report, brought to you by Villiger. Villiger Cigars, one of the leading cigar and cigarello manufacturers in the world, founded in 1888 and still family-owned and operated. Head over to VilligerCigars.com and check the store locator to find a shop near you that carries them. We guarantee that Villiger Cigars will be a wonderful addition to your humidor and cigar rotation.
Well, I'll tell you somebody who's not entertained right now. It's anybody that is a fan of the Iraqi World Cup team because they are currently being beaten by Senegal 5-0, 82
Wow.
minutes into the game.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, and they're showing fans in the stands, and those people didn't. I don't think. Nope, nope, nope. I'm going to stop that joke right there because that almost became a thing. So I'm going to let it go. That was one for the Herf, not for the show.
Right.
So what have you been entertained by lately?
Well, obviously World Cup, but I won't go into that because I know you have, with all that.
Oh, I would say my people,
Uh,
everybody listening to the show is probably so bored of me hearing about talking about soccer, but it's like I've been super into it. I've been digging it. I've been liking it. It's been fun.
From when this show comes out, this past weekend is a lot of the Barrett-Jackson auction in Ohio.
Yeah, I know you've been watching that.
Started that on Thursday. It's going today too and Saturday. Some really nice cars going for decent prices. Another thing too, we just switched providers, and
Okay.
I've got a bunch more channels that we'd never had before. And it's not like they're crazy channels, but it's like more channels that are just over the air, if you got an antenna or something. And I've been watching a lot of stupid old sitcoms and stuff like that 70s show and
Okay.
Home Improvement and stuff like that. Just background.
Oh, I went through my
no
Home
noise.
Improvement binge sometime last year.
According to Jim, just stupid humor that I
never
can
got
just
into
veg
that
out
one.
to.
Yeah, I like shows that I can veg out to.
All right.
Talked about that. It's like I just want something I can just sit and just not think and just watch.
And it also came with like a bunch of the Stars and Encore and Movie Channel. So I've been watching some older movies. Like this morning, I watched Blue Chips. I always loved that movie. It's a
Okay.
basketball movie.
Yeah. Was that Nick Nolte?
Yeah, Nick Nolte.
Okay. Yeah.
The other day they had a bunch of the Friday the 13th, the original ones,
Okay.
back to back to back, and all that. And like the first three are really cool because they're somewhat, first one was just a woman, a mom.
Yeah.
The second one was a son that could have been living in the wild in the woods.
Yeah.
Same with the third one. And then it gets all stupid with he's been killed and all that stuff,
Yeah. Well, the third one's when he got the hockey mask.
Yeah.
And the third one
was in 3D.
I have that soft spot in my heart for it because it's 3D. Any of those old movies done in 3D that you watch now that are not in 3D, they crack my shit up. And the one I always come back to is Jaws 3 because it was just so... That movie is just so fucking ridiculous just in concept. But then when you add the 3D element into it, it's just even better.
They've been showing those, all four of them.
Now, I will say this, by the time this comes out, I will have done it already. This weekend coming up. So in the past for everyone listening now, but in the future for me, I will have gone to the drive-in because they're going to be showing a double feature of the original Jaws followed by the first Jurassic Park. Ooh. So I'm like, that right there is a perfect Saturday evening with a travel humidor of cigars set up next to me and a big old drink in front of me, and I will just sit out underneath the stars and watch people getting eaten by sharks and T-Rex.
Right.
I think that's
both groundbreaking for their effects at their time.
And both Steven Spielberg.
Yep.
Yeah.
But that's what I've been watching here lately.
Like I said, I would have, by the time this comes out, I will have gone to the drive-in and, well, hell, the World Cup, group play will have ended and we will have gotten into the tournament by that point.
Right.
So, we'll see who's
the games will get a little more sparse. You're not going to be able to sit there all day and watch, games.
Yeah.
Which
is probably best because,
right.
There have been some days that I have just wasted away in this garage just staring at the idiot box, just watching that. But, and, even though I'm betting very small, it probably is good because, my DraftKings activity will slow down a little bit. Although I've been doing pretty good. I did not do well last night, thanks to America freaking losing the fucking Turkey, which, by the way, let's get into that. That came up on the freaking call or on the Zoom. The whole thing of Turkey now being known as Turkey. Like, I didn't know until this World Cup. And now all of a sudden everyone's like, Turkey. And I think it was you that brought up that Turkey didn't want to be associated with the word turkey anymore because of the bird.
And because of the, laying a turkey,
Yeah. So,
but there were other reasons too.
Well, we Googled it and we found that, the Turkish people always have been calling it turkey egg. But
no one else said, really.
No one else did. All the other English speaking, it was always turkey. And so I guess in 2022, they told the UN and a bunch of other places, like, we want to be called this. And, this is the first time it's actually been on a stage that people have paid attention and actually done it. But still, I found it interesting. I didn't realize that was even a thing until this World Cup. So,
yeah. And I'm assuming you're still watching wrestling?
Oh, of course. By the time this will have come out, the Forbidden Door pay-per-view will have happened. So I will.
They have a lot of pay-per-views, don't they?
AEW has slightly less than WWE. WWE, it seems like once they get done with one, there's like 3, maybe at best 4 weeks until their next one. And sometimes they're so freaking close. It's like, how are you even building up? Because that's the thing. You got to build up the stories to the next pay-per-view to make the pay-per-view worth getting, And I guess it's a little different because all the pay-per-views for them are aired through the ESPN app. So if you have a subscription to ESPN, you get access to the WWE pay-per-views.
Right.
With AEW, it's a separate purchase that you can do through HBO Max or Prime. But they take a little bit more time, I feel like, building up between each pay-per-view. The cool thing about the Forbidden Door pay-per-view is the whole concept of the Forbidden Door is one company working with another company. Okay. And so with Forbidden Door, it's AEW wrestlers, but then also you get wrestlers from New Japan Pro Wrestling. You get CMLL out of Mexico. And you get these other bigger, like, international kind of groups, and they come together. So where, like, you'll have an AEW guy fighting a dude from New Japan, or like a AEW guy taking on somebody for a belt from CMLL, that kind of thing. And so it's kind of that whole, like, they're not supposed to be fighting each other because they're different companies, but here they are doing it. It's kind of fun. This year kind of sucks in relation to, I watched it last year, and then I've seen some old ones in replay. This year kind of sucks, and I'm saying this in advance. I haven't actually watched it. For all I know, the show's going to be awesome. But it kind of sucks because there's a lot of these international guys. It's being held in San Jose, and there's a lot of these international guys that are having visa issues. The United States has really cracked down on a lot of that. And so, like, there's a lot of these Mexican and Japanese wrestlers that are not being given access to the States to be able to come and compete in the thing. So, unfortunately, there's been a lot of chatter about maybe this is the last year that they'll have to be able to do Forbidden Door. My thing is, why are you doing Forbidden Door in the United States? Maybe
Go to Mexico.
Maybe consider moving to Mexico with it, to where
Puerto Rico. Wrestling's big in Puerto Rico too.
Right? Exactly. Take it somewhere. Take that one out of the territory. So. Take that one out of the States and move it somewhere else to where, like, some of these guys would have less problem. Because I mean, the big one, which is AEW's version of WrestleMania, it's called All In. That one's at Wembley Stadium this year. So that one's over in friggin' London. So it's not like they're against moving a pay-per-view to a foreign location. So it's like, just do that with Forbidden Door, and then at that
maybe
point,
they just didn't see this coming this year, and it's too late.
I think that's probably a lot of it. I think that's actually a lot of it.
I mean, I bet a lot of these are planned a year or 18 months in advance.
You would think. Well, I mean, just to secure the venue, location, I would think would have to be, So that's just one thing. It kind of sucks. And it does explain why some of the guys that were pretty prominent there for a while have, like, completely dropped off the map. Because I'm like, where'd this guy go? Where's this guy gone? And it's like, oh, well, he's got visa issues. Oh, well, that explains that now. So anyway, kind of sucks, but I guess we'll figure it out. Canada! Fuck! Just move it to Canada. Canada will be fine. Okay. They do events up in Canada. So anyway. So that's what I've been watching.
Now,
and again, it's all the brainless. It's all super easy to watch, consume, and be entertained by, entertainment. So
sometimes you just need to turn your brain off and enjoy just something.
Especially when, like, life is just throwing a lot at you, and it's not, and it's nothing bad. Like, I don't have anything bad going on right now. It's just a lot. I'm just tired, And so it's like, instead of giving me something intricate and detailed to watch, I just want something simple. Like, there's a lot of really good shows out there. I mean, I have people recommending shows to me all the time. Dave, Smoking Butts Dave, he's been hyping up this show on Apple TV called Sugar. And he's telling me how it's super awesome. The way it's shot is really interesting. And apparently it sounds pretty good, but I'm like, fuck, it's just one more thing. It's one more show for me. I have to be in the mood for something that I have to pay attention to. Right. See, that's the nice thing about soccer and wrestling, It's like, I could have it on. I could be dicking on my phone. Hell, there have been soccer games that I've fallen asleep in this chair, woken up, and I'm like, oh shit, somebody scored while I was asleep. That kind of thing.
Well, like
That's easy.
at the Herf, I popped off the Herf,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh, and you're like, what? Oh, I see that now.
Yeah. Because like I've got the volume down because I'm doing the
Right.
herb. And so I glance over and I'm like, oh fuck, Yeah. Fucking United States. Shit in the bed to Turkey. What the hell?
Especially when it started off so good. It's like, oh
Dude,
shit.
and the worst part is I had that 4-leg parlay. I mean, my $5 bet, I would have made $78 off that bet, right? It was a $5 bet. So, like, in the grand scheme of life, I lost $5. But I had a 4-leg parlay, which is a pretty intense bet to
Parlay.
make. You got to have 4 different things take place. And the one that seemed like the gimme is the one that went wrong. The others are the ones that I was like, oh, the odds of this happening, I don't know, but it ups the odds of the parlay to make me more money. I'll go ahead and risk it. Those 3 things happened, and then the United States loses to Turkey, and it's like, oh, well, all right, fine.
Well, as I'm sure your dad would probably say, that's why Vegas is so big and bright and glamorous.
Well, I agree with that. I mean, let's be real. I haven't gambled in Vegas in quite a while. Mostly because every time I go out there well, it was TPE, but by that point, the time of year, it's like I did not have disposable income to be gambling. So I'm trying to think of the last time I actually gambled out there.
And those sports you weren't really into,
I didn't do any sports betting when I
Right.
was out there before. But like craps, slots, it's like,
Right.
let's be, I had some really good moments out in Vegas, but they at best, Vegas and I are at an even place to where I got as much out of them as they got out of me. More than likely, Vegas got more out of me than I got out of Vegas. So, especially when you take into account how much the damn food and everything else costs out there these days.
It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
Which, to be honest, is one of the reasons I am not looking forward to PCA going back there next year. I was very happy in New Orleans the last 2 years. And, I only was out in Vegas for TPE because I've only been to PCA twice. So this will be my first time doing that show in Vegas. But I'm not looking forward to going to that. Just because I just know it's going to cost me so much more in everything.
But one thing I noticed, I was at PCA in Vegas in 2018.
Yeah.
Something that's different when it's in Vegas. To me, it seems like there's a lot more hospitality rooms Friday and Saturday night, where the companies, rent suites and whatnot, and invite people there, so you can go have hors d'oeuvres, have drinks, whatnot, and smoke. Whereas, like, it seems like from what I've observed from New Orleans, everyone after the show just kind of
scatters into the wind. Yeah.
And so you're paying for dinner, you're paying for drinks,
Yeah, that's true.
I went to a lot of, like Aromacraft was a big one. At the time, Nat Sherman had a big one. And they had big spreads and all that. And, it's like, hey, great, and they weren't pushing product. They were just, you were good customers,
Come and be entertained.
The Aromacraft was, we had just placed our initial first big order to bring them in. Yeah. So they invited us, and I got to talk to a lot of existing retailers who helped me. This is how you promote it. For us, this one's our good leader, to bring them in for the others. And, it was very helpful.
Okay.
Especially, like I said, we jumped way heavy in.
You did.
against my advice, but, everyone's got a boss. I think he still had them in 2023 when I left.
There was a shit ton of them there in 2023 when you left because I was going in there and smoking when
They
there.
were well aged and properly aged.
I'm sure they were. But yeah, there were still quite a few.
But
Yeah, I'll be curious to see if those happen because you're talking in a pre-COVID world, man, and like
right.
a lot of brands have really cut back on all this stuff, and um, it does kind of make you wonder if they're going to do that, or now that they've gotten away with not doing it in New Orleans, are they going to stay on that trend and just not do it in Vegas? I don't know.
Right.
It's definitely an interesting question. I don't know.
But yeah, nothing's cheap in Vegas.
No. It would be in St. Louis if they come in 2030, though.
Did you see the new did you read about the new park they're opening up for the zoo up by the Missouri River? That's going to be sweet.
Yeah, that's going to be next year, I think they said that's going to be.
Yeah, 2027 they're going to open it up.
Kind of a more it's not like a zoo in terms of like, oh, you walk around and there's all the, enclosures and stuff. This is going to be more
right. They're all wide open and
open
shit.
Safari park kind of thing, and they're going to do a lot of research and various other stuff up there.
Breeding.
I think is cool. I think that's neat.
I want to feed the giraffes at eye level.
You can do that at the zoo now.
Can you?
Yeah, they've got all these packages. See, that's the thing. St. Louis has got all these packages where if you pay so much, but I think that one is maybe only like, last I knew it was like $40, but it might be a little bit more now. But yeah, you go and they have like a big platform thing that you go up on. They give you the lettuce leaves, and the giraffe just comes right up. You can hand feed the giraffe, and everything. I'm like, that's fucking cool. They've got one. It's with the penguins, and I feel like that's like $100 a person. But they take you in the back part of the penguin enclosure, and eventually you go in a room and you sit down on the floor, and some penguins come in and like waddle all around you and shit. You're not supposed to touch the penguins because I guess we have bacteria, that if it gets on their feathers and their fur and stuff, it can like, harm them. But you're not supposed to touch them, but like you can still sit there and like the penguins will be all around you and shit. That sounds fucking cool. But it's one of those things like, do I want to spend $100 on it? But I will say, did you see that the St. Louis Zoo actually was named the top free attraction in the country by USA Today?
I can believe it. I mean,
they were named,
even though they do have pay things to do.
Exactly.
So much you can do on the free part.
100%. And actually, as a way to like reward people for that, I know this episode comes out July 3rd, but on July 1st, they were opening it up to where everything is going to be free. So like the train, all the different things that they normally do that cost money, maybe not the feedings, but like all the other freaking things that like they have like some dinosaur thing right now that they're doing that I think is a little extra cost. But like the stingray deal where you can go in and like pet the stingrays and feed the stingrays, that's going to be free and open. So they're doing like one day where like everything is free to like say thank you to everybody that supported them for this USA Today deal. So I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, that's coming up on the 1st. Yeah, I don't know. I still contend that you and I we made our best case for St. Louis. Now whether or not happens, I don't know. I know there's definitely some naysayers that don't think it would be the best show, but I think it would be something different at the very least,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
I still think the whole goal of PCA is to say, look how good St. Louis did with it, Indianapolis. You could do so much better.
That's the thing. Hold it in St. Louis one time, just as a way to say, hey, this city worked with us, and look at what we brought to this city. Look at all the revenue that we brought into the restaurants. Look at all the hotels, blah, 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 blah. Now, take that and go, hey, Nashville, hey, Indianapolis, hey, Chicago, hey, Boston, whatever. I don't give a shit what city. Well, not Boston. Massachusetts is not going to want to fucking work with them. But you get my point. You know, it's like find some other city. Hey, Charlotte. You know,
And
find some
they've got the
fun.
facilities for it.
That's what I'm saying. Find cities that have facilities that can hold this stuff, and just go and say, "Hey, look, St. Louis worked with us, and look at all the benefit we gave to St. Louis of all places." You know, we can do this with you, and then maybe we can expand this out to where we're not bouncing back and forth between Vegas and New Orleans.
Look at Texas. There's so many places you could go in Texas.
I'm shocked that Texas is not one that PCA has, like, you know, got on their calendar. I'm
Right.
shocked that like Dallas doesn't like have a facility that'll work with PCA to do something like this. And maybe they do, but like maybe it costs more. I have no idea.
There's
But
no
like,
telling.
yeah, I mean, I'm obviously not in the room that these decisions are made. So
Right.
I should be, damn it. I should be involved.
But I'm sure there's plenty of states that their governments would work with them to allow smoking in a venue like St. Louis did.
You would think.
I mean, St. Louis is one of heavily liberal anti-smoking cities.
Yep.
But they're like, sure, if you can bring that many people in here, and yeah,
Cash is king, man.
We'll make a special
Revenue.
occasion.
They
Yep.
want the revenue, you know. Shit. St. Louis is sinking into the ground. They need as much money as they can get to shore up that infrastructure between the freaking giant, you know, sinkhole that took place underneath 44, and then I don't know if you saw, but big chunks of the riverfront have fallen off now too. It's like that fucking city is like cratering, dude. I don't know what's going on, but it's crazy. So maybe that's not a great endorsement for PCA coming to St. Louis. It's like, you'll sink to the seventh level of hell if you come here. But yeah, I don't know. Anyway. Well, this would normally be the time that I do 3 cigars I smoked and enjoyed this week, but considering schedule wise, I'm recording this the day after I would have recorded the episode for Friday, June 26th. I have smoked only a few cigars since I did that list. So I'll do this.
Guess what, motherfucker?
And say it's time for 3 cigars we smoked and enjoyed this week. But you want to take it away, Mike? I don't know.
Yeah, I've actually got some.
All right,
I
was say I'll put you on the spot and just ask you what you smoked this.
I wrote them down just for this occasion.
All right, well, good, because I have nothing for it. So this.
Well, obviously, this is the first Villiger limited release 51 that I've smoked.
Yeah, you digging it?
I'm digging it. It's a real smoke maker. Great draw. I have not had to touch it up or anything. Even I had to relight it after I had to walk away for a minute.
Yeah. No,
I've got the here it is over here. The Aladino Declaration I smoked last night with the Herf.
Yeah, so talk about that. So this is the July 4th episode, you know. How was that?
I mean, it was really good.
Your ash was holding on ridiculous.
I had an ash before I had to ash. It was like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was a beautiful ash too. It wasn't like I was like, I can't breathe. You know.
No,
I didn't even realize how long it had gone till someone had mentioned it. I'm like, oh yeah, hey here, you know.
And that burn line was really tight.
Right.
I'll say that cigar got a lot of love on that Herf that we did because not just the cigar itself, but the packaging. My God, that box is just gorgeous.
Well, like I said, my sister grabbed it as soon as I got the cigars. You know, she's like, I want the box. I'm like, okay. I don't do anything with the boxes, so I didn't really care. Yeah. I also the West Tampa White Lancero, I smoked that.
Okay.
The other day, after seeing it on your show.
Yeah.
I had a little trouble at first.
Okay.
Now I'm a Lancero smoker, so that wasn't the issue. From the initial light to about the first 3/4 to an inch, I could not get it going. Could not keep it going. And then all of a sudden, I got it kind of going. I'm puffing on it. All of a sudden, it kind of flared.
Oh, okay.
And then it was a beautiful smoke, great taste, all the way down to burning my fingers.
Interesting.
So I don't know if something got in it when it was being rolled.
There might have been a weird bunch or something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
And as soon as I got past that, at first I'm thinking, I'm going to go through this Lancero in 30 minutes, trying to keep it going, you know.
Yeah.
And then it was like I got another hour after that little issue,
That's
you
good.
know. So I was very happy. I got
Well,
4 more. So
let's be real. It's way we talk about it all the time. It's one of those things, handmade product, blah blah blah, and all that.
and we've
You know,
gotten
it's like,
spoiled with the. I don't want to say spoiled, but the production of these cigars has gotten so good
yeah,
that when you do get a problem, it's like,
it's so rare that
it smacks you in the
stands
face
out.
because you're not used to having an issue.
Yeah,
Whereas, I've heard people talk about they were smoking from the 80s and 90s. It's like, dude, sometimes a quarter of the box you'd be fighting with, on some of these brands.
I was just talking last night on the Herf, and we were talking about again, I won't name the brand, but like somebody was saying, like if you get the box at a good enough discount, if a quarter of the box doesn't smoke good, do you feel as though it's not, that you got ripped off because you got it at such a good discount? And my contention, yeah, I don't care how much of a discount I got it at. I still paid for a whole box of cigars, and I want that whole box to smoke well. But to your point, yeah, you're right. We've been, I'll agree. We've been spoiled. We've gotten good construction out of so many cigars that now when you encounter one that doesn't smoke the way you want it to, it stands out. It's more obvious.
And then I also smoked I got my bundle of the Color Series Toro.
Okay.
And I enjoyed that a lot.
Mine should be showing up whenever my 2-guy shipment arrives.
Again, my sister was like, "Ooh, look at that band. Ooh, ooh."
Oh, yeah, because it's that kind of reflective silver kind of thing. Yeah. It's very pretty.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Well, Mike, what are you doing for the 4th? Anything fun?
I think we're having people over and we're going to be grilling and smoking and whatnot. I personally have dialysis that day, so I'm going to be a little drained for most of it. I'll probably be peaking up around time of dark for the fireworks and stuff.
Well, at least you get that in. That sucks, though.
Yeah.
There's some poor timing on that, but I guess you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, they don't close except for Christmas and Thanksgiving Day.
Okay.
And they don't do it on Sundays.
So does that mean, will you be able to partake in all the barbecue fun and everything? I don't know how that affects your appetite.
I am never more hungry than right after dialysis.
Oh, so that's a good day then for you.
Right,
Hit
yeah.
Hit that 4th of July barbecue hard then. There you go.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I'll have some folks up as well. And I don't know if we're grilling or what we're doing, but I do know I'll be searching out some fireworks. I've got my son that day. Max loves fireworks, man. So we're gonna find as many different fireworks displays as we possibly can to try and feed that monster.
Now, does he like doing them himself too, or does he just like to go
No,
watch?
he just likes to watch.
Good.
Just likes to watch.
It's cheaper that way.
It is cheaper that way, and as a person who has had a couple of different sparkler incidents, I am not particularly one to like to do fireworks and stuff. Dude, I was a little kid, and I was cleaning up, and I picked up a spent sparkler, but from the wrong end, and doesn't matter like if it's spent or not. That end is freaking hot,
Yeah.
And that was unpleasant. I will say, have you seen sparklers today versus sparklers when we were a kid?
Yeah, they're different.
They're shittier.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, back when we were a kid, it was like, it was a big sparkly flame thing going on.
A lot of them now, if you blink, it's over. It's like
that's my point. It's like they're quick and they're shitty. I don't know.
Do they still sell Roman candles? Those were fun to shoot at people.
Not in Illinois because we don't get any fun fireworks. I got to go to either Indiana or Missouri for fun fireworks.
Yeah.
And I got to go so far out in order to get them. It's, again, not worth it. But, yeah, I don't know. They have to because you see videos on, like, Instagram and whatnot of people, like, launching them at one another.
Huh.
So, like, they have to still make them. I don't know. I saw somebody that tied one to, like, or tied two to, like, a remote control plane. And so they had the plane going, and like it was just firing Roman candle shots down on everybody. I thought that was kind of fun. Attack.
And we used to use wiffle ball bats and stick bottle rockets in the end of them and light them and shoot them at each other.
Oh shit!
Yeah, those got pretty dangerous.
There was some show with Tim Robinson, Detroiters. I think that was the one. Him and his buddy were doing wiffle ball, but with Roman candle. Like the one had and he was like launching it at the guy, and he was trying to like bat it, and that was amusing. For what it's worth. Anyway, so fun. Yeah, I mean, hopefully everybody has a nice, good, safe 4th of July. Don't do anything too stupid. I want
come back with all your fingers.
That's exactly it. I want all the parishioners to come back on the 5th with all their fingers, and preferably both eyes. If you had 2 eyes to start with, come back with the equal number of fingers and eyeballs that you started the day with.
Right.
That's the rule. Yeah. Who is that? There was that one football player.
He was with the Giants.
Yeah.
He had a weird. He was from like Africa.
There's somebody screaming at their radio right now, listening. That's going like, oh, blah blah blah. I don't remember who it was, but
he blew off a bunch of fingers and stuff.
I know.
Luckily, he was a defensive lineman, so
he just
put like a cast on it, and
he just needed the bulk of the hand. He didn't need the fingers per se.
Yeah.
That's funny. I mean, sucks, but I guess it's not funny, but it's darkly funny. Anyway, so well, yeah. Everybody come back safe. So, well, Mike, thank you so much for taking time out, buddy. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on. It's always a pleasure, especially now in the summertime. I've got a little more time and a little more better weather.
Yeah.
Not that it gets so cold during the winter, but it's usually rainy and windy and stuff. So
yeah, that's not pleasant. That's not pleasant at all.
Yeah. So
well, cool, man. I appreciate it.
All right.
And I really want to thank Mike for taking time out of his day to sit and chat with me. And it's always nice. It's a fun time catching up with Mike. Well, guys, this is the point when I tell you that I'm available on Instagram at the Cigar Pulpits. I am on Facebook, where we have the Pulpit Parishioners group. It's a private group. Just ask for access, get in on that, and you'll be able to join and share what you're smoking and hang out and get to know everybody. We're on Twitter/X. You can watch this on Rumble and YouTube, and on Wednesdays on Rumble and YouTube, that's when I put out the Drive Time Review. Those go live every Wednesday at 7 a.m. Central Time, and you'll be able to see what I am reviewing that week. I need your calls for the Ask the Boys hotline, or Ask the Pulpit hotline. Area code 863-874-0000. That's 863-874-0000. Or tofu pie with no E, 0000. Those have been a huge help. I talked about that in the show earlier. Huge help. So the more of those you can give me, the better. If you are not signed up for the Cigar Chronicle newsletter, that is available at cigarpulpit.com. There's a little pop-up box that comes up there, and you can type in your email address, and you'll be added to the list. I put that out once a month. So I'm not spamming you with a whole bunch, but it's got a lot of good information in it. And then finally, like I've said earlier in the show as well, Pulpit Fest tickets, there are still some available. Head on over to cigarpulpit.com. The first post on there has the poster. Click on that poster, takes you to the Eventbrite page, and you can purchase your tickets there. Guys, general admission tickets are $35. You get 30 of it back as in-store credit to Ash and Ale. So you're really paying $5 plus taxes and fees that Eventbrite makes me do. And you get $30 in-store credit, but you also get the goodie bag with all kinds of stuff in it, and you have fun all weekend long. It's a great time, October 1st through the 4th in Palm Coast, Florida at the Ash and Ale. It's just a little south of St. Augustine. There's some really great places to visit, a lot of really cool things to see, a lot of great food in that area. It's a fun trip. If you're looking for somewhere fun to go, it's a fun trip, and it's coming up like I said, there's only a handful of tickets left, so you're going to want to jump in on that and get that booked up and locked up if you're interested in coming. Otherwise, this has been a show. I appreciate you guys taking time out of your day to listen, and we look forward to having you next time. This has been another sermon from the Cigar Pulpits. I'm Nick. Everybody, stay safe and stay smoky. Take care, everyone.